Zambia have made their debut at the World Cup, and unfortunately, it was a 5-0 loss against 2011 world champions Japan. So one takeaway from the game, Zambia's best player, that Barbra, was completely marked out for the entire 90 minutes. So in the first half, Banda was completely isolated and had the fewest touches, and this is why. Japan played a low block in defense in the 3-back system, and all the 3 defenders of Japan were always behind Barbra, with at least one player in close proximity to her. That meant Banda always had little space to run into and with 3 players also to beat at all times. So Zambia's game plan was destroyed right from the very first minute. But Zambia on the other hand played a very high defensive line. This also meant that anytime Japan got a counter-attack, they could play long balls and their players would have a lot of spaces to run into. To tackle this, Zambia resorted to setting the offside trap, which is actually a very dangerous game to play. From Japan's first goal, when the ball was played to the Japanese winger, you could see the attacker in the middle, who would eventually go on to score the goal, was actually offside at that point. But by the time the cross was made to her, she had already timed her run to make sure that she was in line, and that was a valid goal. Japan did score their second goal, but this time the trap did work and it was offside. But that's how dangerous it gets, because this was just few inches offside. So just about some 30 seconds after Japan's goal was disallowed, Zambia hit on an attack, and as Japan always do, they had at least 3 players behind Barbra, because they will not even take the chance to set an offside trap for her or not. So Japan win the ball and switch the attack in just 6 seconds, and they meet a high-line defense of Zambia, which gives the Japanese player a lot of space to run into when the ball is played to her. So the ball was played to her and she goes on to win a penalty for Zambia, but like for Zambia again, she was offside when the ball was played to her and the penalty is overturned. 3 minutes later, Zambia are still playing a high line for the offside trap and they are unlucky this time. So when the ball was played, Tembo, who was the Zambian right back, was unable to be in sync with her team as she is a little bit deeper and she plays the Japanese player onside. She goes on to make the cross and Japan gets their second goal. So right here, even deep in Zambia's help, they still allowed Japanese players to get ahead of them. And from this play, it's from a throw-in, which you cannot be offside from. So the Zambian attacker gets the ball, gets the cross into the penalty area, and they score from here to make it 3-0. Then here, there are 7 Zambia players marking out a single zone on the pitch, leaving the other zone unattended to. So Japan quickly realized this, and they switch play to the left-hand side. The player gets a lot of space to run into, and boom, she gets the 4th goal for Japan. Japan would then get a penalty to score their 5th goal of the game. So Japan were the dominant side in this game, but Zambia could have really defended way better to get a draw or at least a respectable scoreline than 5-0. But they made things too easy for Japan, and this game could have even been more than 5-0 for Japan. I think Zambia have a lot of work to do, especially in their defense, in the subsequent games to come.